Welcome into the Monday episode of the David Hookstead Show. As always, happy to have everyone in here. We got a fun lineup of topics. Obviously, we have the national title game tonight between Kansas and North Carolina, which we're going to get into in a moment. But first, how many of you saw Colin Kaepernick at Michigan's spring game over the weekend? So he was their honorary captain. He did a workout at halftime throwing to receivers. I guess they think that after almost 6 years out of the NFL, if you just show up to a college halftime game and throw under no pressure whatsoever, that all of a sudden an NFL team is going to sign you. Quite frankly, I'm appalled that Jim Harbaugh in Michigan allowed Kaepernick to come and do this. And I've spoken to a handful of Michigan fans. None of them are happy. They all think this is not acceptable, not appropriate. And as one of them pointed out to me, and I think it's a fair distinction, a good distinction, it's one thing to have someone come in and speak to your team. College campuses are meant to have a variety of different viewpoints, different information. You can engage in a healthy debate. It's a totally different thing to name a person such as Kaepernick honorary captain and then let him work out in front of NFL scouts. That is a bridge too far for me. And the reasons are simple. Colin Kaepernick has attacked the police on many occasions. He has praised a communist dictator, a murderous communist dictator in Fidel Castro. Back to the police point. He has compared them to slave catchers. He talks about how they get paid leave when they murder people, which is, of course, not true whatsoever. He doxed a police officer in Ohio who shot someone to save a young girl's life. So Colin Kaepernick, oh, I'm sorry, that was actually LeBron James. My bad. That was LeBron James. I'm getting confused. LeBron James doxed the police officer in Ohio. That was not Colin Kaepernick. Allow me to fix that mistake. Point remains, Kaepernick time and time again has done stupid things. He wore socks depicting police officers as pigs and so forth, on and on. And by allowing him to work out and by naming him an honorary captain, you're endorsing that, especially the honorary captain part. You're endorsing those viewpoints. You're saying, yeah, those viewpoints aren't that bad. You say, we accept that. We want to honor this guy. That to me is absolutely, frankly, disgusting. Michigan fans should be up in arms. They should be furious. They should not tolerate this. Jim Harbaugh should apologize. He should apologize to the fan base. He should apologize to the police officers in the state of Michigan. Because Colin Kaepernick, and we can all play revisionist history here and pretend that in 2016, the things he said and the things he did never occurred, which is what the media likes to do with Kaepernick. They like to pretend that all of his dumbass stuff just never happened. And now they've spun it to make him some civil rights leader, which is, of course, complete fiction. That's a complete nonsense narrative that the media has cooked up so that people forget about him refusing to stand for the anthem, all the things he said back in the day, and so forth. So shame on Jim Harbaugh, shame on Michigan. It is, hey, look, the internet's forever. These facts aren't going away. Colin Kaepernick did those things. That's the reality of the situation, and Harbaugh owes a lot of people an apology for this. And I'm not a Michigan fan anyways. I hate Michigan. I'm a Wisconsin guy. Yeah, and I love all these Michigan fans now because I pointed out the obvious about Harbaugh, claiming about how Michigan stomps Wisconsin all the time. Folks, if memory serves me right, Michigan has 2 wins over Wisconsin in the past decade, okay? Our football team over the past decade is light years ahead of where Michigan is. Yes, we lost to y'all last year, and then 2 years ago? Was that 2018 we lost to y'all in Ann Arbor? We've split, if memory serves me correct, our last 4 games. So stop with the nonsense about how we're some inferior program. That's why it's not even true. The facts don't back you up whatsoever. All right, next. National title game is tonight. We have Kansas versus North Carolina. I am obviously super excited about it. Now, I already won my bracket pool because Kansas just had to beat Villanova and make the national title game, and then I won the pool, and that's exactly what happened. So really, I don't care what happens tonight. If Kansas wins, great. If North Carolina wins, great. All I want is a really energetic game, an exciting game. Obviously, we have some good narratives. You have Bill Self and the Jayhawks trying to get their first title since 2008. On the other side, you have UNC, who's coming in as an 8 seed. They just upset Duke in the Final Four, ended Coach K's career in one of the greatest college basketball games we've ever seen. So there's plenty of different storylines to follow, plenty of stuff like that. I am really amped up, really excited. I mean, this is it. We had a great season. It was a hell of a time. So more power to everyone who's playing in the game. I can't wait to see how it goes down. I like Kansas. I think Kansas will win, but again, it doesn't matter at this point for me. I already got paid. I like Kansas to win, though. I think it'll be a good game, but I think at the end of the day, Kansas is more talented. And here's the other thing to remember. The Final Four game against Duke was UNC's Super Bowl. That was the biggest, arguably the biggest game in what, 20, 30 years? That was bigger than their national title wins, their most recent ones. It ain't like that for Kansas. Kansas has been riding steady. They've expected to win every game they're in. So there's been no upsets. There's been no major emotional swings. They're just riding steady. I don't know how North Carolina can possibly match their intensity from Saturday night. I don't think they will be able to. And I think ultimately it'll be to their detriment and they will lose. Finally, speaking of Duke, I don't know how many of you saw this, but you can go watch the videos online. Duke players, all of except one, I believe, walked off the court after losing to UNC and did not shake hands. Did not shake hands. They walked off the court after losing to their bitter rival, didn't shake hands. To me, that is unacceptable. Win or lose, you're going to play like champions. I believe that was Herb Brooks that said, win or lose, you're going to play like champions. Or maybe said you're going to act like champions. Same spirit, same vibe that I'm going for here. I don't care if you win by 100. I don't care if you lose by 100. You stand in line and you shake hands and then you leave. It's that simple. You don't have to make this a bigger deal than it is. That's basic sportsmanship. If you can't conduct yourself with basic sportsmanship, you don't deserve to be out on the court. I don't care, again, if you win or lose the game. I don't care how emotional it is. Coach K, to his credit, went through the handshake line, shook everyone's hand, despite the fact his career ended on a loss to a bitter rival, and most of his players left the court. To me, it's unacceptable. There's no excuse for it. There's no reason for it, and they should all be embarrassed. It's really embarrassing to see as a fan, and I have no dog in this fight because I'm obviously not a Duke fan either. Completely 100% unacceptable on the part of Duke. You just have to be better. You just have to be better. Anyways, that's all we got for the Monday episode of the David Hookstead Show. I'll see you all here again on Tuesday for a brand new one.